There could be changes on the way for a few school districts in the southern tier, considering a possible merger. WENY's Scott Brubaker spoke to the superintendents of Watkins Glen and Bradford Central School Districts today about the possibility and what would need to happen. Scott.
Yeah, Renata, these talks between the Bradford and Watkins Glen schools are still in their very early phases. Now, with lots still up in the air and no exact plan yet on what a merger would look like, both districts say that they just want to do what's best for the students. Talks over the possible merger started last year between Bradford Superintendent John Marshall and Watkins Glen Superintendent Kai DeLiva. Both leaders say declining enrollment and the state's financial forecast are both reasons they're considering a merge. Superintendent DeLiva compared it to when Watkins Glen decided to close the middle school in 2014.
How do we now think differently, just like that governance team did a decade ago, think differently about our future? And that's what our current governance team is trying to do. And when Bradford wanted to start having these conversations, we were like, this is a great opportunity, and the opportunity does lie in funding and the incentive aid that comes along with consolidation.
The combined school could receive more than $55 million in state funding over a span of 14 years. DeLiva and Marshall say the funding is an incentive many districts are seeing across the state.
There's been a significant push across the state that school districts, look into regionalization and sharing services, whether that's for, maybe a cost savings or opportunities. And so this seems to align perfectly with that.
Watkins Glen isn't the only district that Bradford is having discussions with. Superintendent Marshall says he's been having informal conversations with several other surrounding schools, looking for the best fit.
This is a very important decision, that affects all of our students, our staffing, our community. And so we want to, explore all options to make sure that in the end, if a decision to move forward is made, the correct one is, it is made.
Both Marshall and DeLiva say they have similar interests when it comes to the future of their two districts.
I think ultimately we both believe that our school districts are the heart of our communities, and we want to keep it that way. And our buildings are the heart of our communities, and we want to keep it that way. And both districts find value in what our school districts bring to our individual communities.
Now, if both districts decide that they want to go ahead with the merger, there are a few steps it still has to go through, including a public vote. It would need to be approved by voters in both districts and then move on to a state approval. Both Superintendent DeLiva and Marshall say there's no timeline as to when this could happen. Renata?